Hello Vlogmas. Today I wanted to show what kind of like a morning routine type thing in my life is of someone who has like a little bit of a small business. So I do run an Etsy shop where I sell embroidered items, mainly sweatshirts is my biggest thing. I also work on some other things and I also have orders outside of Etsy. Like usually when my friends, when they want something, they'll just like text me and then I work that out a little bit differently. Sometimes I can charge it through Etsy too for like tax purposes. But anyway, I'm working on some sweatshirt orders. So I wanted to show some of that I've done this morning. I also need to charge my camera, but I wanted to show, so this is one that I sold and it says be kind to your mind. This is one of my favorites. This one has been like a more popular seller recently. I actually made this design like a couple years ago, but it's just now kind of getting some traction, but it's super cute. It's one of my favorites. And then I just made this one. This one is another one of my top sellers like during the holidays. It's just an embroidered floral joy sweatshirt. And so what I'll do next, so I embroidered it, and as you can see, I've got all these little strings. So I'll kind of show you how I like prep it after I've embroidered it. But now I am about to embroider another one. So my top seller is ones with just like embroidered flowers. Let's say like SLP, OT, RN, RDH, just like embroidered initials essentially that people can wear to work or whatever. Some people will do like mom and just like cute stuff like that. I actually have some stuff that I need to add to my Etsy soon. I just kind of got behind when we went through a bunch of stuff a month or so ago, and so, or I guess I should say 2 months ago now. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, so I'm about to embroider one that is a sweatshirt for like the SLP type thing, and I want to show it. I've shown this before, kind of my process. I don't think I've shown it like in a Vlogmas video. I'm also working on some other projects while I'm doing this. Ignore the mess. My office is a mess right now, but that's just kind of how it is whenever I'm working on a bunch of projects at once. But so I marked my sweatshirt with my guide. I got these from Amazon like years ago when I first got my Cricut, so it's been a very long time. And then I mark it and I put my hoop in, and then I just kind of move my hoop around until it's in the correct place and it's straight. So I'll just hoop it, check it, rehoop, check. I know there's probably better ways to do this, but this is just what works for me. So that is how I hoop it. Okay, so I hooped my shirt or my sweatshirt, and I actually float my stabilizer, which means I just attach it with basting spray rather than try and get this attached within the hoop. I've just found it to be a little bit easier that way and it doesn't move. So I just cut my stabilizer in half to save money. And then I just take my basting adhesive, which is good for if you have quilts and you do quilting, you probably have it already. Or if you do embroidery, you also probably have it. And I just turn it inside out, and then you have your hoop like this, and you just spray a little bit and then it sticks to it. So then I put it in my machine. Okay, so then I come over to my machine and I'm just going to put it in here. And this is a bigger sweatshirt, so I'm gonna try and be careful getting it in there nice and safe. Getting it through. I would like to get a bigger machine one day, but my business isn't big enough for that. I do, you know, work full time, and maybe if one day this became like a full-time thing for me, I would get a bigger machine. All right, so now that's on there. And so what I do now, I have the Brother pe800 machine, and what I like about it is it's computerized, so you can edit on here. So I'm actually gonna go in and edit the colors that they requested on here. I used to do everything on the computer, but I've started kind of adapting and changing. So I'll come back to my computer for a second and see the colors that they ordered, and then I just change it. So they put that they want white, flesh pink, light lilac, and moss green. So I have a guide here that tells me the colors, but I also have kind of memorized them at this point, so I don't really need that. But just for reference, I need to order a pad for my chair to be able to kind of move across the floor in here. Okay, so I'll go in and I already have my flash drive with my designs in here. And so I just go to the design that I want. I already have one very similar to the colors they requested. So I'm just gonna change and add that light lilac. So actually, let me show you. So I already have it loaded with SLP. And so I'm just gonna go in to my colors. I'm gonna keep moss green, and then I'm probably gonna change this one to the light lilac. So I just pick a color that is similar to the light lilac, and then it's kind of hard with my nails. And then I'm just going to go and change the pink to like a really light pink. And then I'm just gonna go in and change the pink to like the flesh, like really light pink, so that way I can differentiate. And then we're gonna leave that the same, and we're gonna change this pink. And now you can see like a preview of what it looks like, and it's looking very pretty. And you can also click on this and get like a little preview, and that looks great. I might change that color color actually. So now I'm just gonna go grab those colors, and then you load it up and your machine, it tells you what color to do, and you just make sure you have everything right. Oh, I will show too how you kind of line it up. Let me show that in a second. Okay, so now that my design is ready, I'm just gonna come in. I'm gonna adjust my hoop to be in the right spot. So I see my blue dot right here. So I'm just going to click on this button, allows me to see where the top of my design is. So then I just adjust based off that and go to where the blue dot is. And then I'm just gonna move over a little bit and we can see perfectly centered now. So then I click embroidery, I load up everything, and then I'll put that down. The button will be green, and then it's time to go. So I use Hatch for my embroidery software, and I pay for Parallels on my computer, which allows me to run a Windows program on my Mac. I can do a whole video explaining that at some point if you would like me to. I like Hatch the best, and I just think it works very well. I think it's very user friendly, and I like all that I can do on it. So I did have to purchase that, and it was a one-time purchase, and then I pay for Parallels yearly. But anyway, so now, but whenever I sequence my designs, I do them by color. So like it will do all the green SLP background, and then it will do the pink, and then I just kind of change it. I think it's faster that way than having to change for like every individual one. I used to do that and it would take so long, but this has been a lot faster. I'm not going to film while it's embroidering because it's pretty loud, but I will come back and show you kind of what it looks like when I change my colors. Okay, so I've finished with the first color. So I just kind of wrap it up and set it to the side because I will use that color again at the very end. But now I just go in and I cut my jump stitches, which is where your embroidery machine goes from one spot to the other. So let me just show you. So like from here to here, you can see that there's a little jump stitch. So I just cut those. And the reason why I cut these is because your machine, sometimes when you're embroidering, the foot can get caught and then it can bunch up your fabric and damage it. So I just think it's easier to cut it. It's also easier to cut it now than later when you have a bunch of strings just all over the place. So now I just load up my next color, which I'm kind of running low on, but I'm just going to use up this one until it's empty. And then I'll grab the other one because I do have another one of that color. It's just as simple as loading that up. I mean, there are a lot of processes to it, and there's a lot of things to do to make sure the embroidery comes out good. And it is a very intense hobby to start at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's very nice and fun. I do enjoy it, and I love making stuff for other people. So I'm going to start the other color, and then I'll come back later. I don't remember if I showed this in my last clip. So I just made this for my friend. It is like an embroidered like Christmas things. Excuse the dog hair. That was just on my sweatshirt that I got on it. Obviously, I make sure the dog hair comes off before I ship them out, and I keep things nice and clean. But this is for my friend. So she has like 5 animals, maybe 6, so she understands. But it's so cute. It's just like this Christmas like embroidered. Let me flip it around. Bring it over here so you can see it a little bit better. Like, isn't that so cute? I love the little things. I'm gonna make one for myself too, I think, but I'm gonna package that up. So I can't remember if I showed, I'm like blanking. I feel like I've been so busy that I'm blanking on what I showed. But whenever I'm packaging an order, I know it's extra plastic, but I don't know, I don't trust mailers, and I would rather have extra protection than someone get an item and it's like damaged or wet from like rain or something. So I get these from Amazon, and it's just this clear bag almost that has a seal on it. And then I also get my mailers from Amazon. The mailers are this pretty green. It's like my favorite color, so I chose that. I eventually want to get some custom ones, but maybe one day if it's like bigger, my business is bigger. Right now it's just kind of like a little part-time gig. And then I use this Nelco thermal printer that I got from Amazon. This has 100% been worth it because anytime I have a return somewhere, I can use that printer, and it's just so much easier and so much more convenient to like buy your labels at home. It's so much cheaper. So anytime I have to ship something, whether it's my business or personal or a return, I always use that. And I also use it to make labels for our candles that we sell. So candles are not a big seller online, but they're more of a seller that's like locally. If you ever are looking for candles and a custom label, you can buy one from my shop or message me and we'll work something out. But he loves making candles and he does a really good job with it. They smell so good, and the throw is really good with them. So he really does a good job. Hopefully eventually, once people start smelling them and using them, they'll want to purchase them online. He is really excited excited about that potential. Hey guys, I'm coming on to end the vlog. Ignore my glasses. These are my sewing glasses that I wear when I sew just because they have good protection. You're probably wondering why I'm crying. So I've talked about this, I think, in like every video I've posted since it happened, but our cat passed away. He was like just the best cat ever. It's been so hard and like I feel like I've done okay, but it just like hits me in waves. I can't believe I'm gonna post this on the internet. I hate to cry in front of people. Anyway, I did just want to like come on and share, because if you've ever had a pet, or if you've ever had a pet that you've like really like connected with, like your soul pet, you probably will understand one day how hard it is to lose them. But anyway, so I don't know why, but today was just really hard. There was so much more I wanted to do today as far as like filming, but I didn't get to it. I'm just giving myself time. I'm still trying to keep myself busy. Like I said, I've been sewing and stuff and just like watching videos on YouTube. I don't know what it was about today, but it just like really hit me today. And I think I've shared before too that we still have his brother. It's just hard because I know he like walks around and he looks like he's looking for him. And we have another cat too that's not his biological brother, and he loved him so much. So it's just hard. If you've made it to this part of the video, I know this video was not the most exciting thing with me talking about my business, and now I'm crying about our animal that we lost. But if you've watched this, like, thank you for being here. But I just want to like kind of share that like I try, like I feel like, you know, generally I do have a happy life and, you know, things are going well, and I like to show that. But you know, I also like have some things that I've gone through that have been really hard, and there's also like been some like medical stuff that has been going on behind the scenes with like family, so it's just kind of been a lot. I wanted to come on and end the vlog and just be like fully transparent that like some days are just really hard. And like I said, if you've never had a pet before, if you've never had a pet that you've connected with like this before, or had that special bond with, you probably think I'm insane, and that's okay. You know, I'm very lucky to feel this way, in the sense that like I was lucky to have loved like an animal that much. God, I look insane right now. Anyways, I just want to say thank you for being here. You know, I don't have a lot of viewers here on YouTube or any of my platforms for that matter, but it's fun to make these videos, and I do like to look back on memories, and especially now I'm so thankful that I have like videos and memories of my sweet boy that I could like go and look at. And there's like so many random videos where I just have like clips of him in the background, and it's just like nice to look and see those. So anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys soon in the next video. Thank you for tuning in.